Good morning, Linda. How are you?
Fabulous. Thank you. Good to be here, Liz.
Oh, I know. I love our conversations. They're so inspiring for me. And all of a sudden, I'm noticing all these changes in my life since we started chatting and talking, and I've been doing some work with you. And it's something about you and what you do has helped me have so much clarity in the last week or two about, my vision of my business and where I want to go and what I do. And I feel like there's this beautiful alignment coming together in lots of different areas of my life through the work with you. And the crazy thing about this is that, I'll listen to part of one of your courses, or I'll read part of one of the books, or I'll read one of your posts, or go to part of one of your classes. And even though it's only a paragraph, or maybe it's half an hour of listening, an hour, there's all this fabulous information in there that, we don't normally think about. I'm not sure really how to explain it other than there's been all these incredible shifts in my life since we started working together, which is like what, 2, 3 weeks. And I get this amazing clarity. And I'll sometimes stay up late at night and work on the vision board on the wall and go, there's just so much clarity, alignment, freeing, I don't even know what words to put to it, that have been going on and happening and shifts in my life since we started talking. So I'm so grateful to you. And everybody out there, go work with Linda. She's incredible. So anyway, on that note, I'm going to turn it over to you to introduce yourself and what should we talk about today? Because we are running an ongoing series and I always love our chats. So over to you.
Well, thank you so much, Liz. And I just want to acknowledge you for staying in the work and being open to seeing the possibilities. And this is what we refer to as the miracle zone, is that when we are in the miracle zone, we are actually in what we call a flow state. And a flow state is when our goals and our vision are in alignment with what it is we came here to do. So in my coursework, we teach you how to feel a yes in your body and how to feel a no in your body, such as that when you really can tap into that feeling of yes, 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 you can feel maybe a warmth or relaxation and ease. You might feel your body kind of drift forward. And when we are setting our goals and our vision within that yes, and we're moving towards what we want, not moving away from what we don't want. That's a critical distinction. We reach this flow state where things just come to us with freedom and ease. Life just works. Life just unfolds because that's when the goals and the alignment of who you are at your essence, your soul purpose, your legacy, your life purpose is fully in alignment. And the universe will hear that. So, and it will respond to that. In my hypnotherapy and meditation coming up this Tuesday, we're talking about free yourself from overwhelm to calm. And one of the parts that I'll be teaching in there is when we are in that flow state, when our attention is 100% on what we're doing on that task at hand versus I have 22 things to do, I have 22 things to do, I have 22 things to do, the universe is going to hear, I have 22 things to do, and it's going to keep giving you 22 things to do. But when we're in that space of, I have 100% of my attention here now, it's like you have a lot of things that you're up to. You're playing a big game. And I feel that you're fully present with me here now. And the universe will give you one thing at a time when you're operating in that mode. And so when things are flowing and in that space of, wow, this just happened and this decision came and I sat down and all this creativity I just was able to write, it comes because you are aligned and you're living in the body of the yes versus the body of the no. So and so just to keep doing that, sometimes people say, oh, I'm just, things are going great. And, I'm just waiting for the shoe to drop. It's like, oh, okay, well, you just, sent that message out there, being really specific and listening in and dropping into your body. So really, that is what I do, is that I give people freedom and empowerment from their issues and pain so that they can really enjoy living the life they love. choosing how they want to live, knowing that they are enough, that they are deserving of whatever they want, and really being in that vibration of everything they want is available to them. So I use RTT hypnotherapy. It's called rapid transformational technique. And I also work with energy medicine and bioenergetic synchronization to bring the energies of the body, but also to remove interferences of some of our beliefs and our judgment, and really bring people onto what we call the front side of the model, where we're living in the zone that you are currently in. And that's why life works, right? It's not exhausting. It's actually energy producing, because you're really clearing any interferences, and you're attracting exactly what you want. So I'm so happy for you, Liz. Yeah.
Well, it's so interesting. I just, some days I just go, oh, this is incredible. So for everybody out there, I have a history of epilepsy, and there's some trauma within my body, and there's some, trauma, I don't know, mind, body, spirit, medically, physically, emotionally, from the epilepsy. And so I attended an in-person class of Linda's, and we did some incredible exercises that I went, oh my gosh, at the studio. Remember, that was a couple months ago. And just through our conversations and these interviews and, working with you and everything else, it's amazing to find that when you realize there may be areas you're stuck, or I'm not really sure, and I think you called it the junk in the system. And as you start to clear it, yeah, and after those couple times in the studio, I'm like, wow, okay, this is incredible. And then through, again, like your courses or the books, whatever, it's almost like everything, I don't know how to say it. It's like everything's coming into alignment, like I say, and I can feel some of the trauma releasing from my body the more we work together, and the more freeing that is, and the more time and space, I guess, it gives up for me to have more creativity. And I have this crazy thing where I have a vision board on the wall, and I keep adapting it a bit. It's quite funny, and then all of a sudden, after I've listened to part of your class or the full class, I'll get this great, oh my God, like I need to finish that book, and I'll come up with a great title for a series of blogs I want to write. And then I'll go back and find my old book, and I'll incorporate the old title and the new one after our work. So I'm baffled, as you can tell, by how incredibly effective this work is, especially for somebody me that does have the trauma of the epilepsy from the seizures, medications, or, self-doubt, whatever part of having epilepsy has been affected me. I mean, all of it. So it's incredible what you're doing. So I'm just so grateful, and I feel freer every day knowing that this is me, and I don't have to pretend to be somebody I'm not, and I am a bit of a rebel, as we've talked about, and I know what I'm here to do, or what I feel I need to do with the, helping others with epilepsy. But your work is allowing me to move forward more constructive. I'm not sure what the word is. So anyway, back over to you, because the work's incredible.
Yeah, so really all it is you're doing it. Your body is born with the natural ability to handle stress, to sleep well, sleep deeply, access your full creative center, rejuvenate your cells on a daily basis. That sense of aging younger, is that your body is actually designed to do that, and it wants to heal, and it wants to come into its full self-expression, come back into this place of love. And all these are just reminders. So we lose touch with what we truly are at our essence, is pure consciousness and infinite possibilities. I mean, our energies overlap. We are really all one at our essence. And so as you're doing the breath work, as you're giving yourself little seeds, right? Just little reminders. We need some structure, just like an ice cube can't be made without some structure. You have to take the ice cube tray and put water in the tray and put it in the freezer for the ice cubes to be made. Energy needs that structure. And that's what you're doing when you just read a paragraph. You're not just reading a paragraph, you are reading a paragraph, and that can be enough for your nervous system to be like, right, this is where I am. You're reminded of the central channel breathing, where we're breathing from above into the belly, down into the earth, where we ground and anchor, and we breathe up from the earth into the belly and up, where we're connecting, we're rooting to grow. And so when you have these subtle reminders and you're becoming more and more familiar with the language. So right there, when I said central channel breathing, I noticed you sat up a little bit. You might have even squeezed your belly a little bit, because that's where we root to ground. So it's becoming part of who you are. And that's the idea, is that if you've been in this stage of interferences in the body, lots of different experiences that maybe you didn't have the circuitry to manage it. And this is what happens as we grow. We're a 2-year-old, something happens. Well, we don't have the circuitry to deal with whatever happened. You know, your first seizure that you had, you didn't know that you had, that this was going on. You're like, well, what happened? And over time, you built the circuitry to manage it, to clear it, to center and ground yourself so that you can manage it from a holistic perspective. That we learn how to build the circuits. And so say we have something that has triggered us. So just think of something right now that it doesn't have to be like a big thing. It could be something that just kind of really like, it's, you know, kind of something that upsets you, or something that happened that's could be in the past or future, but you feel a response in your body. So just think of something right now. You don't have to say what it is. Just think of something that, you got it? Okay. So just unmute yourself here for a second there. Perfect. And so when you think about this thing that is causing frustration or angst or worry or stress, just where does that go in your body? Where do you feel that in your body? There will be a charge or a tension.
Yeah, in my heart.
You feel it in your heart. Okay. And so just close your eyes, and I just want you to think about that thing and feeling it in your heart. Notice where you go. And just on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being it feels really intense, like I'm really triggered by this thing. Where on the scale of 1 to 10 do you feel that?
Probably a 6, maybe a 6.
A 6.
Yeah.
A 6. Okay. So I just want you to sit up nice and tall in your seat. Just really feel yourself lifted in your spine. And just relax your shoulders a little bit. And I just want you to squeeze your shoulder blades a little bit, just so you feel the tension. It's like your angel wings. You're hugging your heart from behind. So here, when we feel it in the heart, there's some circuitry that we want to build within the heart chakra as we release what that interference is. So just squeezing the shoulder blades down and back. Now, I just invite you to take a breath in and just imagine you're breathing in energy from above, maybe 4 feet, 2 feet, 1 foot, just from above. And as you breathe in, let your chest expand. Just feel a little hug in your shoulder blade, and then let your belly expand. And then exhale down your legs, out your feet into the earth. Beautiful. And then breathe up from the earth through your feet to the legs. Let your belly expand. Let it feel good. Just squeeze your pelvic floor muscles a little bit, and then hold that breath and breathe in a little more into the chest, like you're breathing in bigger than your body is. You're just gently hugging the shoulder blades, just bringing in attention, just make it easy. And then exhale energy out from above your head. And then breathe in from above your head and squeeze in the shoulder blades. Let your chest expand. Now hold that breath, and now breathe in bigger than your body. Breathe in bigger, like you're breathing in energy now from everywhere. And now exhale energy out from all around you. This is called a heart coherence breath. And now breathe in energy from everywhere as your collarbone broadens, your chest expands. You feel that support from your spine, from your shoulder blades. And then exhale energy out everywhere, all around you, front, back, 360 degrees. And one more time, beautiful, breathing in, shoulders soft, lifting through your spine, chest expands, breathe in bigger than your body. And now hold that and just breathe in more, bigger than the body. Let your belly expand, heart center open. And then exhale energy out everywhere. And then just relax.
I feel nothing.
Okay, good. So now just think about that thing again. Just think about that thing. Think about that thing. And then what is the number of charge that you feel in your body on that scale of 1 to 10?
It's less than 1. Like I don't feel that tightness. Oh, that's interesting. I
Yes.
just sort of feel, it feels like something released almost, or the pain isn't there. So, oh, that's interesting.
So that's how we can have experiences. And as Gabor Mate says, it's not the trauma itself, it's how we interpret the trauma. So through the breath work and connecting and feeling into our body and doing these breathing techniques, so you felt it in your heart. So we went through the central channel breathing, but then we did what we call the heart coherence breath. So we're just building the circuitry for us to better be able to manage these things. So when we're triggered, it's an opportunity for us to heal, to take it to the body, breathe into it and let it go, because it's not always ours to carry. You know, I deal with people who they're like, yeah, I'm dealing with this grief or something that happened. Well, when did it happen? Oh, 20 years ago. And it's like, oh, we actually don't have to carry it that long. We can actually let it go and manage it. Doesn't mean we don't acknowledge it. Doesn't mean that we're condoning what happened was right. Or that it wasn't a challenge, but we don't have to carry it in our body, because that's where dis-ease can take place. So this is how we stay healthy, how we stay in that flow state where we can manifest things, where we keep our energy high, where we can have that clarity. So there you go.
You know, it's amazing. It's, you know, what we don't know that we don't know that we don't know that's out there, you know. And, you know, I think I've mentioned before that when I had the epilepsy, you know, I was on pharmaceuticals, and I decided to look into the holistic alternative. And back then, you know, this is so many years ago, back then there wasn't very many naturopathic doctors, and there wasn't a lot of whatever. So I sought out alternatives to taking all these pharmaceuticals. Now, I took the pharmaceuticals. I never recommend anybody stop it and all that.
Yeah.
But I started looking for, okay, who do I talk to? What are the alternatives? What can I do holistically? Or, you know, and all these fascinations in my mind about other options for having a healthier body. And it's interesting how we reconnected after some years, and the work you were doing was exactly what I needed at that time, or I need still. And some of the exercises you did in the studio, you know, with the arm strength and everything else, I'm like, wow, I didn't even realize I was feeling that until we did the work together. So it's just fascinating. And you have a program that I want to do with you called, I think it was called BEST. And I can't remember what that stood for, but that's fascinating. And if you can share a bit about that. I know it's BEST, but there's, sorry, I can't
Yeah.
remember.
Yes, perfect. Beautiful. Thank you. And BEST is much easier to say. It stands for Bioenergetic Synchronization Technique. So what we're doing is we're finding where the energetic interferences are in the body, and we're clearing them. So the process that we just did is part of that. But when I do I can do remote BEST, so we can do it online, where I actually connect with your energy, and I can feel by asking questions where the interferences are, and then I come into your body through my energy, and we hold certain points where we release the energy, and this can be stored from past lives, from, you know, before inception of your grandmother and grandmother before that, because we do carry through our legacy. And when we recognize, wow, that my grandma did that, my other grandma did that, and my mom did that, now I'm doing that, that we can actually clear that, or past experiences in your life. So we use this bioenergetic synchronization technique. And what's nice about it is we actually don't have to talk about what happened. We might not even know or remember what happened. You know, some people remarkably can say, oh yeah, I'm back in the womb. I'm like, not everybody can connect that way. And we don't have to. And we don't have to regurgitate the trauma where we're feeling like we're reliving it all over again. So this bioenergetic synchronization technique is really about what we did in that breathing practice, which is your power to do on your own, but I do it with you. So it's just faster, right? It's just, I'm getting it there faster because I know the techniques, and we work together to clear it. So it's like, boom, it's out. And it can happen structurally, realigning the body, and I'm not even touching you. Your body is doing the healing, to releasing past trauma or emotions that we're holding on to in our body. And then we teach you those breathing techniques so that you can remind yourself, take it to the body. Oh, I feel it in my chest, and you've learned that heart coherence breath, so you do it. And now you're in charge.
Oh my gosh, it's so fascinating. I have so many questions all the time. But you have, again, next Tuesday, you have a really cool class coming up, and I definitely will be there for sure, because the classes, they're so good. But the one coming up on Tuesday, maybe share a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I'm stoked. I've been just putting it all together. I do spend hours prepping these because I want to make sure I give you exactly what you need within them. It's going from overwhelm and anxiety to calm. So, when we're in overwhelm, this goes back to that example I said earlier, is that we're too much in our head. So when we feel overwhelmed or anxious, we're too much in our head, and we need to drop down into the body. And this is where, when we're thinking in our head, oh, I've got 22 things. Oh my gosh, I have to do that. And I forgot to do that. And I got to call that person. And oh man, those floors are driving me crazy. And we get into this thing of all this stuff to do. So when we learn how to be present now, and that is taking it to the body, and what do I need to focus on now? And we'll give you some very practical strategies in there as well, is that we are thinking about one thing, and the universe will give you that one thing to focus on. So being 100% there. And then we'll also talk about things like, perfectionism, because a lot of perfectionists live in overwhelm because they think, oh, I have to do this. Now, perfectionism typically comes from I'm not enough. And so when we get, where does that I'm not enough come from? I actually am enough, and maybe 90% is okay right now, right? Maybe doing 90% effort is okay, because that extra 10%, I can save that energy for something else. So we're going to talk about these things, but we'll also be going through a hypnotherapy session. It's like meditation. Hypnotherapy just gets your conscious mind into a relaxed state, so we can access the subconscious mind, because that's where all the stuff lives, is in the subconscious mind. That's those knee-jerk reactions, those triggers that, I got all this stuff to do. So this is what we'll be discussing. So you will learn how, in a second, to change your thoughts, which change your feelings, which changes your behavior and gets you out of overwhelm fast. So that's this Tuesday, August 22nd, from 9 to 10:30 Pacific time. We can put in the comments of this post how you can register. And it'll really, if you find you get overwhelmed with things, or you have a busy day and it's hard to be present, going from this task to that task, now I need to sit down and be creative, and now the phone's rung, and you're playing a big game, we need to be able to juggle many things. So we help you to build the circuitry to do that. So that will be Tuesday. Super.
Oh my gosh. So how can people get a hold of you? Like, I'll put the information on this video as well and share it out to social media. But it's always, how's best to get a hold of you and all that?
Yes, thank you, Liz. Yes, so my website is intentionallife.ca. So there'll be 2 L's in the middle when you spell intentional and life.ca. And there's just a contact form there, so you can just fill that out. It'll come to me, and always happy to do, a complimentary call to find out what it is that you're up to, and see if what I do would be of support to helping you get there faster and easier, and even better than you imagined, right? I mean, look at all the things that are really working out for you right now. It's like, wow, better than imagined, right?
Yeah. Oh, so good.
Life gets fun then. Life is fun.
It does, yeah. And I love to look at, yeah, I mean, it's just been an incredible journey, and I'm so grateful for you for all this work. So everybody out there, we're going to continue this series because I find this fascinating. The feedback has been phenomenal from people that have watched the replays and everything else. So we'll continue this ongoing, and come back and join us. And in the meantime, thank you for all you do out there. And we'll see you again soon.
Thank you, Liz. Thank you, everybody. Namaste.